Hello friends, welcome to Automation Tech Guru. In my last video, we have seen what is SpecFlow and how we can install the SpecFlow and other packages along with the .NET Visual Studio 2019 with .NET Core. So in this video, we will see uh, about the BDD framework and how we can add the feature file and step definition files in Visual Studio using .NET Core. So let's begin. So agenda for this video, we will see the introduction of behavior driven development framework, benefits and drawbacks of this BDD framework, and we will see the keywords like given, when, and then we can see the feature and step definition files, how we can add the feature files and we can generate the step definition files. So BDD framework. So behavior driven development is a set of practice and an approach similar to TDD, that is test driven development, which aims to bridge the communication gap between the different stakeholders like product owner, developers and testers. The end goal of the BDD approach is to create a business requirement that could be understood by the entire team so as to avoid misunderstanding and helps to shape the feature being developed in the most acceptable way. So what are the benefits we can see in the BDD framework? So first is you are no longer define test, you're just defining the behavior. So how your testing is behave instead of doing the test. Better communication between developer, tester and product owners. Because BDD is explained using simple language, so learning curve will be much shorter. Anyone can understand that. Being non-technical in nature, it can reach a wider audience, and the behavior approach defines acceptance criteria prior to development so that you can understand what exactly we need to do and we need to test after the completion of the development. Drawbacks of BDD. So we have seen the benefits, so obviously there will be a drawbacks also in the BDD framework. So first is BDD is incompatible with the waterfall approach. Most of the BDD frameworks have worked with agile, so it will be easy to develop and live in the production. If the requirements are not properly specified, then BDD may not be effective. Testers using BDD need to have sufficient technical knowledge or skills. Creating and maintaining the feature files and scenario requires an overhead investment of time and effort. And the communication is essential between the parties, user or client, or maybe the development team. So absence of any one of them can cause the process to be ambiguous and lack of answers to the question and doubt raised by the other sides. These are the drawbacks of the BDD framework. The three keywords: given, when, and then. So let's see what is given, when, and then. Given, this is used to describing a set of preconditions for the scenario being defined. For example, if the scenario's prerequisite is a logged in customer, then the step implementation will need to ensure that there is a customer is already logged in. When, this is used to describe an action or execution step. If the customer is trying to add a product to the cart, then the step implementation for this step will add the product to the cart. And then this is used to describe the outcome of the scenario and where the validation should be placed in. The step implementation will assert whether the product got actually added and the quantity is the same as the that was chosen by the customer. The feature file. The feature file, it is essentially a grouping of multiple scenarios for the application under development and test. It can also be simply thought of a different modules of the application by which the application can be logically separated. How to add the feature file in our framework? So right click on your specification project and select add or new item for the from the pop-up menu. Select spec flow feature file, give it a meaningful name with the feature dot feature and click on add. Note: do not choose one of the feature files with a language in the name, as these files do not contain the skeleton code we will be using. So let's see how we can add the feature file in our project. So just go to Solution Explorer and right click on your solution and go to Add and New Item. Now you can go to spec flow, and then select the spec flow feature file, and you just need to give a name for that file. So I'm just giving the Selenium or calculator. Yeah, and click on add. So now you can see the calculator.feature file is already added, and it's having the default scenario with it. Step definitions. The step definition file is a small piece of code with a pattern attached to it, or in other words, a step definition is a C# method in a class which an annotation above it. An annotation followed by the pattern is used to link the step definition to all the matching steps, and the code is what SpecFlow will execute when it see in a gherkin keywords. So generating the step definition. So we can see how we can generate the step definitions. In order to test our scenario, we need to create a step definition that bind the statements in the test scenario to the application code. SpecFlow can automatically generate a skeleton for the automation code that you can then extend as necessary. Right click on your feature file in the code editor and select generate step definitions. From the pop-up menu, a dialog is displayed, and enter the name for the class. So let's see how we can do that. So as you see that we have already added the feature file, so now we can add the step definition. So just right click on solution and then go to add item, new item, and select the step definition file and just change the name to as the same as feature. So it will be easy to understand the link between the feature and the step definition file. So it will be a calculator steps. So now I just need to delete whatever code is there. So just remove that code from the class file and then go to the feature file and right click on feature. So just select this and right click and select the generate step definition file in the menu. Okay, and then copy those method into the clipboard, or you can just click on generate. So I just copied that and go to the calculation step definition file, that is CS file, and paste it whatever you have copied. So now you have all the steps which is written in the feature file in the step definition class and save it. So in this way we can add the calculation add the steps in the step definition file, and you can see in the feature file that all the gray color is converted to the black color. It means that you have added the step definitions for all the scenarios steps. So in this video, we have seen what is BDD, benefits and drawbacks of the BDD, and how we can, what is feature file and step definition file, and how we can add the feature file and step definition, and how we can generate the steps in the step definition file. In the next video, we will see the code implementation. So we will add a class, calculator class. We will reference that calculator class and implement the code. And also we will see other more test scenarios like subtraction, multiplication, and division. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and comment, and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.